Hey guys, everybody has their own spiritual kind of mantra, like everything happens for a reason, which is my favorite, or whatever shows up is for you, send in love and light, those kinds of things that get us through the tough things. But what's going on when your spiritual mojo's not working? Stay tuned and I'll talk about that. Hi, it's Laura Giles. As we are heading into the holidays with COVID, we may be getting a bit overwhelmed and our spiritual mojo's just not working. So, I want to talk a little bit about what is going on to maybe help you to cope with it a little bit better. So, everybody has this little window of tolerance. It looks like this, okay? And in this area right here is where we're comfortable and we're functional. And as long as life moves within this window, we're good. We've got the skills that we need and we can just roll with whatever comes. But what happens when we get on either side? So on one side, we've got like shutdown, numbing out, dissociating. And on the other side, we've got hyper arousal and like, whoa, that kind of stuff. And when we get there, all bets are off. We can't really cope anymore because we're in a state of overwhelm. So trying to be like, oh, well, you just need to breathe or just do some meditation might help a little bit, but it's really probably not going to do a whole lot because what's going on is that we're in trauma. We're in trauma response. So the thing that we need there is safety. So we need to remove the stimulus or get ourselves away from the thing that is causing the distress, calm your body down, this isn't just like, let me go take a walk, although a walk may help. This, if you're doing this habitually, and if you have a trauma pattern within your body already, and most of us do, then you're going to need to do some trauma work. That's the only thing that's going to get that going, because trauma lives in the brain. So the brain's doing some different things, and in the gut's doing some different things, and we've got some muscles down here that are holding on tight to put our body in a state of hyper arousal or under arousal. And you just can't think your way out of that. You can't just remove yourself out of that because the body is stuck on. And the big problem with modern society is that we're all overstimulated. I don't care how healthy your childhood was, how healthy you are. If you hooked yourself up to some electrodes and then you monitored your reaction to different things, your brain is already in like trauma from the sound of traffic, from fluorescent lights, from Wi-Fi. So it doesn't take a lot to get you on the edges of that window. Sometimes when and if you're not eating well, if you're not sleeping well, if you're overly stressed, a lot of us don't have jobs right now. Some of us are working way too much. So lots of people on the edge of stress. And if you don't have a way to discharge this, it's going to be a problem. So last weekend, we did a face-to-face meetup here. And I was teaching some people how to do this in their body. So this is something that you can learn. And once you have the skill, it's yours forever. You can do it whenever you want. And there's lots of different ways to do this, but they're techniques that you can learn. And we do, here at Pan Society, we have a ritual that we do at the Seer. It's called the Seer, at the Feast of Transformation. And that is for coming together as a community and doing that release. If you're not releasing on a regular basis, then you probably have all kinds of stuff that's churning inside, just waiting to be triggered. So trigger is when your response to something is way out of balance to the thing itself. So if I say, hey, good morning, you're like, oh, good morning, what are you talking about? That's a trigger. You've been triggered. So it could be anything. It could be smells. It could be the taste of something. Just think of all of your senses, the way that your senses are stimulated, because memory lives in your senses. It could be the way that something feels on your skin, so touch. It could be a song. It could be a pattern of things. So let's say that your boss is invalidating and your mom was invalidating. So every time you see your boss, it's like, it's just whatever it is. So if you're noticing these things that makes you go, ooh, to things that you wouldn't normally respond to, you got a trigger. You got some trauma that needs to be released from your body. Something needs to be learned, maybe, if you don't know how to do that yet. And it's just information. Let you know where you are. So I hope that helps. You know, spirituality is fantastic. It's a great coping skill. It's a great lifestyle to be in. But it's probably not going to help too much when you get outside that window. It's just not really going to be enough. Unless, you know, you get some spiritual intervention, and I don't know, that can happen. But for the everyday person, it's not enough to just say, oh, I'm going to send love and light to that. I'm just going to release that. You know, everything happens for a reason. Those things are great when you're in the window, not so much out of the window. So if you're, I don't want to say failing, but if that's not enough for you, it's normal, it's natural, it's cool. So hope that puts it into perspective for you. You're not losing in the spiritual lottery of life. It's just that your body needs some work. So thank you for your questions. Hope to see you again soon in our private group. Ciao. Bye-bye.